ever since I came here has been about the transformation of learning to create a culture and an environment where far more young people than ever before could succeed in achieving goals that had previously been the preserve of the academic elite of our country.
The Leigh City Technology College was a very successful school, and I think when we had the opportunity to put up a new building, we had a chance to rethink where we were and where we wanted to be. And we felt that we could come up with a school and a new structure that would create a new kind of learning that would take the school forward over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years and build on the school's current success.
One of the bolder things that we did was to break the school up into 4 small schools and create not just heads of house but head teachers to be responsible for those schools with a set of responsibilities and job description that matched that of a head teacher in the day-to-day work of that college. All the students were given the opportunity to spend a considerable amount of time both designing learning spaces they liked, looking at the day structure, the way colours and shapes of rooms and the kinds of things they would like to see in a school, which were then fed through to the design team. The staff were given an opportunity as well, both within a formal departmental structure in the school day and then a very open-ended long weekend where we just said, anybody wants to come, express your ideas of what you want. And in many ways that was one of the critical catalysts, because the staff who volunteered to do it were clearly the very committed and involved ones, and they chose to spend an extra weekend, and they came up with some quite fundamental changes they would like to see, which were more radical than the ones I'd been thinking of to begin with.
We were aware of how it was going to look. We had a lot of assemblies. We had the building workers come in as well to talk to us about how it was going to look and how big it was going to be. And we had a lot of pictures shown to us as well, so we were well informed about what was coming next.
If you walk around the academy, you can see the 4 schools very quickly. They're all colour defined. If you actually walk into the school, you'll find that they've got their own team of teachers, their own team of support staff, their own team of administrators. The youngsters in years 7 and 8 spend round about 70% of their time in that one school, taking English, maths, science, humanities, modern foreign languages and IT. By the time youngsters get to Key Stage 4, they probably spend about 50% of their time there. So really, youngsters are very much based in one place, and they have the same teachers for those core subjects, and we really have an opportunity to get to know them well in small groups and ensure that they make the progress that they should be.
The intention of the teaching and learning spaces is twofold in terms of the kinds of space. We've got the larger classroom spaces, which are enclosed, which are designed mostly for groups of around 60 children with 3 adults working with that group. And that makes a very different kind of learning environment straight away. You completely transform that emotional balance and human interaction scenario.
We got maths classes with 60 people in, and at first I thought it wasn't going to work, but at the moment, now it does, because there's more of a variety of levels that people are at, so everyone can help each other.
Any noise that's created is working noise, not just talking, and it's useful because you've got people that are good at maths and really bad at maths, and they can all help each other.
We have 3 teachers in the class, but one is the lead, one teaches everything, and then there's the 2 helpers.
The issue from the teacher side of it is, how do you properly manage that kind of range? How do you make proper use of those additional adults in your room? And it isn't good enough to just say, just stand around and wait till you need it. You've got to actually plan the lesson and prepare with those other teachers and learning support assistants that you have, so that you say, how are we going to maximise this time?
Within that classroom, we've got our 60 students. We have 3 teachers. We also have, if necessary, learning support as well. So sometimes we've got classrooms where we have up to 6 adults. So the ratio is actually 1 to 10, which is absolutely fantastic. In our environment, like I said, everyone is in together, so it's mixed ability, and what we do in our maths classroom is we teach concepts to the group and we differentiate based on a particular concept. So rather than predisposing the students to your top, your middle, your bottom, we actually say, well, everyone is able to achieve. We'll teach a concept, and from there we say, right, if you're coping with the topic, we can extend you. You're doing okay with the topic, so you continue to work on it. You're struggling, so we give them extra support. In a classroom, I know previously teaching on my own, I'm in a situation where I get stuck with two or three students who are really struggling. Other students then get stuck and they start to misbehave because I'm not giving them their attention. Well, again, that doesn't happen anymore because there are 2 other adults in the room that can go to them far faster than what I can actually do. So you've got that support from the other staff.
We've also created these learning plaza areas where sometimes we do teach classes, but quite often it'll be a group of students coming out of another class that can, if they want to access resources, can then use the technology there to do their work, either with that class or maybe some sixth form students want to use it. And that's where we start to build this interaction between cross-age groups, rather than trying to artificially say we're going to put the year 7s with the year 8s today, because they tend to work in their own college space and they tend to know one another. It's very easy for if a year 8 class is partly broken out of their space to come in to use the large one, and there's 3 or 4 post-16 students working, it's almost guaranteed that 1 or 2 of those year 8s will know 1 or 2 of the post-16s, and if they get stuck, even with the other teachers around, they can still go and ask for that support.
Vertical tutoring is a type of form time, but we're not all with the same year group. So you haven't got a group of year 7s and a group of year 8s. You've got a variety of all different years. So you may have 4 year 7s, 4 year 8s, going all the way up to the year 13.
I'm in year 7 and I think vertical tutoring is brilliant as they're all really helpful to you and all their activities are wonderful and they can help you with them.
We have a focus and the teacher gives us that focus. An example of that is team building, and we do lots of activities with different groups, and the year 13s will split up and teach different groups of year 7s, year 8s and up to year 11.
Well, we do sums, and that helps me with my maths a lot, and emotional intelligence, it lets me know about the words and how it can express to things.
On my first day here, I was really scared and nervous, but instead of you going up to someone will always come up to you and talk to you and help you out with whatever you need, which is really nice.
Because we've now got this 4-college structure, we can test out an idea within one of the colleges with a quarter of the population, and if it works there, we can then spread it to everybody else. And it also means that it has to be written up properly in order to spread it out, because we are trying to make these colleges reasonably autonomous within the overarching framework of the Leigh Academy.
People love the facility. The feedback from the youngsters is they really like being part of a college, and certainly they're enjoying the building.
It's really big and spacious. The quad is really big. It's like twice the size of the old 2 put together, and the classroom is really big and spacious where you got more room to work.
I like the fact that it's really open and we get to talk to a lot of people, mix with all age groups.
It's better because it's more spacious, the classrooms are much bigger, and because you have 3 teachers in a classroom, you get more knowledge because they all know different things.
It's good, it's a new atmosphere and it's more of a learning atmosphere.
My mum and dad think it's good because it's got a really lot of space and it's like really good for learning.
Well, my mum and dad think this school is very nice. My cousin even applied for it. Even though he didn't get the school, he's still appealing because he thinks it's so great.
The new structure has created a much greater sense of awareness of how to learn and how relationships can develop within the organisation because of that closeness. The students, the staff, the principals and assistant principals of the college would all say there's a greater sense of belonging and of knowledge and of stronger relationships because they spend this amount of time now within their own space.
I'm sure it's going to be transformational, because it's already inspiring us as teachers, it's certainly inspiring the youngsters, and we're all determined really to get maximum value from this wonderful facility.
There are so many people here to help you, so every step of the way you're supported and you're helped every time. My mum and dad have looked at newspapers and stuff, and they found that we've 93% A levels and the grammar school is 98%, so we're almost like a grammar school, which is really good.
I think as an institution there are two potential next steps, one of which is our own, which is, if this works the way it does, how do we take it on from that? The second part of it is, if it is successful, how do we translate this model, this structure, to other people to absorb and gain? Because one of the great analogies that I've heard David Hargreaves give on a number of occasions is that education has got to become more like medicine, in the sense of the capacity that a new technique developed in medicine for surgery in Australia will be known in every major operating theatre around the world, certainly within 5 years. But you couldn't possibly say that about educational development in a school will have that impact across the educational world and school world. And somehow we have to find a way of getting the best practice from what we're doing in a range of schools up and down the country where new things are happening, and somehow get them into a format that is easy for other people to take on board.